Good evening, everybody. It's just gone 7:30. Apologies for that. Hope the coffee tastes nice. Item number 1, or 192042. From now on, I'll just call it the last number. To receive any apologies for absence and declarations of interest.
So we have apologies from Peter, apologies from Rob, and apologies from Sarah, also apologies from emails.
Okay, fine. And any declarations of interest?
No.
Okay, if you think of something while during an item, just let us know.
Yes, that was just one for me, and that's not doing there's something about letter to
Easements at Boston, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Item 60.
Yes, we might need to. Okay. Right, yeah. We now have comments and observations from members of the public. Received reports from the county and district councillors. County and district councillors are with us. So, do any members of the public have anything they'd like to say? Oh, Jeff.
Yes, please. I'm Jeff Lemming, live at Pondside, just by the ford here. And it's relevant to the item you've got coming up about the county council wanting some extra signage for the slipperiness of the fords.
Yep.
Now, I don't know whether anybody's aware of the situation there or not, but my kitchen gives me a perfect view of the ford, and on a regular basis at weekends there are cyclists going over. On 2 occasions we've had to call an ambulance out. One actually, I know for a fact, had a broken hip because he came to see me because he wanted to make me to make a statement because he was going to try and sue the county council. And another one quite recently, the ambulance people suspected a broken leg. But as I say, on a regular basis they're going over at weekends, sometimes 2 a weekend, and I've had people in my kitchen with bloodied arms and such. So I have run Ian Bates and had a meeting with the county council highways people, and that is why they will want to put these signage up. They have written apparently to all the cycling clubs in the area, warning them to try and avoid the ford. The main issue is it's very slippery, and with modern bikes now apparently they have their feet clicked into the pedal so that when they do slip they can't get their leg out to protect themselves. So what I'm saying is that if you're discussing the item, if you can think favourably on the county council at least trying to do something to try and avoid these accidents which, as I say, are happening on a regular basis.
Right, it's good. No, thank you. Andy?
I mean, it's a general comment, but it's against 2 or 3 of the items here, if you want to reference one particularly. And the element at the end of the preamble about questions from us, the audience, or parishioners, the very last piece says there that obviously members can't speak during the closed session or without the express approval of the chair. Your predecessor, Peter Bleaky, was very good. Like, he recognised that Parish Council don't know everything, and actually there's a lot of knowledge, like Jeff and myself and others in the village, and used to take questions, obviously under advisement, to help inform the Parish Council. And I've just noticed since you've taken over chair, you're taking absolutely no questions, and there were a number of people at the last few meetings, so Heather and myself and Margaret and others, that were just stopped, even when they have their hands up, to say, I think we might have something that might be useful for you. Are you going to continue with that and take no questions at all?
I hear what you're saying.
Not going to answer that.
No.
Because I just think you're going to make rash decisions like you've already done when there's lots of experience in the audience. So please use us. We've been around 30 odd years, or some more, but I've been in the village 30 odd years, and lots of things pertaining to us in the village. We've probably got useful information that could help you. So can I please make that plea? Thank you.
Okay. Darren, did you put your hand up?
No?
No, sorry.
That's what you're in.
I'll go on, Darren.
Not already, sure. Okay, so we go on to the closed session, item 43. To approve the minutes of the Parish Council meetings held on Monday the 3rd of June, which was a main meeting, and the minutes of the Planning Committee meeting held on Tuesday the 11th of June. Now, you've seen the minutes. They came round at the time. They didn't come in as supporting documents, so I hope you've got them. Anybody got any issues with them? I'm just checking to see who's here.
I wasn't.
Laura's here.
Yeah, I've read them.
Yeah, okay. Kieran's here. Sarah's here.
Yeah.
Ian and Sharon. So there's enough of us if we're happy that they're okay.
So I should stay awake till midnight.
Yes, this was the 11:30 finish. I'm sorry about that, but hopefully it won't be repeated
Yeah.
too often. So I propose that they're signed. Can I have a seconder for those?
Second.
Okay, Laura, thank you. All in favour? Who are here? Myself, yeah. Okay, that's 4. Okay, and the other one is the... Sorry?
Is there only 4 in favour?
Me as well.
That's fine. Sorry,
5
yeah.
in favour.
They're all in favour, aren't they?
Yeah,
Not
Anne Man.
I wasn't.
Sorry,
Yeah.
you didn't pay it, but you, yes, you were seconded it. Yeah.
I was in much nicer places.
Okay, thank you. And then the planning one was just the one,
Reminds
I think, which was...
It's gone out of my head.
Two-storey extension.
Yes, this was the one...
Green.
Rutland Green, 8 Rutland Green,
That's
where we'd had it before, and this was now a revised one with a slightly less extension to it. So if we're happy with those minutes.
That's fine.
Close, Kieran said the minute. 4 in favour. Thank you. Rob, it isn't his. Yeah, okay, thank you. Okay, matters arising from the last meeting, including Clerk's report, Appendix 1. Information only, no discussion and no decision to be made, local government. So this is a new item. So the Clerk has sent us in supporting documents in Appendix 1. Do you read it out? You did read it. Okay. So, yeah.
So the audit report was sent over to the external auditors and they've confirmed receipt. They'll go through that in the order received and come back to us by the end of September. The period of electors' rights, which is when any member of the parish has the right to see the accounts down to the level of invoicing, has been set to the 11th of June to the 22nd of July. Unfortunately, I omitted those dates in Spectrum, so I'd like to apologise for the error. That went into the Spectrum article. I have put the application into Unity Trust Bank for the new bank account, and I just need you to sign the form if you're a signatory. If you're just associated to the account, I don't need you to sign the form. You should have now had your new email address or the ability to set it up. In the process of setting these up, I spoke with a fabulously clever chap at Microsoft who advised us that we could have these shared mailboxes without upgrading the Microsoft package. So I haven't upgraded us to this business premium, we're still on the normal business package. These shared mailboxes, however, are limited to 50 gigs, so you'll get a warning if you've got too much information in the mailbox to delete some information. Hopefully a lot of it's going on. 50 gigs quite a lot. And hopefully, yeah, putting everything in Dropbox would mean that there's not a huge rise in data being sent through. I have ordered and received the new local council administration book and used, I might add. The Speedwatch poster has been put up on the notice boards, website and Facebook. I think we've had one trade, I heard.
Yeah, one more person trained.
I spoke to the company for the benches. Unfortunately, they require payment before delivery, so the invoice is down on the agenda to be passed for payment today, and then revised that delivery will be approximately 2 to 3 weeks after they've received the cheque. See, should the cheque get signed tonight, so I can get that sent off tomorrow. I've written as requested to the relevant parishioners who have been running the hay meadow. Set up the Facebook page for Hilton Parish Council. As I was setting it up, unfortunately you can't actually turn comments off for a public page as you can for a private one, which I was mistaken about. But I have found a workaround where the majority of comments will be hidden, and so I can actually view those comments through the admin login. But if you log on to Facebook, you see the comments button and you'll see that there's one comment, but you can't actually read the comment that's there. But I have to say, the comments that have been put on there have been very favourable, and in some cases helpful, so it's a good sign. The policy group did meet last week and make a start on the standing orders, but we were interrupted by the arrival of the travellers. I have very, very lately received a report from the bailiffs regarding the travellers, but unfortunately I haven't received the invoices, so we haven't been able to put the invoices on for payment, because we did actually breach standing the financial regulations in the fact that Kieran has paid for the bailiffs directly rather than it being paid for with Parish Council money. So the outstanding bill to Kieran for the bailiffs is over £5. But I need the invoices to put those on the agenda, so now I'll unfortunately have to wait till September. I've also submitted the VAT return this month and intend to do it on a quarterly basis. Previously it's only been done on an annual basis. I intend to start doing it on a quarterly basis, especially with the playground invoices coming through. So they're going to be nice big ones and we want to take them back as soon as possible.
Just in future then, if this was to happen again, how do we pay the bailiffs? Do we not have a credit card or a bank
That's an
card?
item for another agenda.
The process, isn't it? Yeah. It is a problem that we can get around it.
We'll find a way.
We'll raise it next year.
They could just maybe a bank account from your bank account.
Yes.
Because we need to have some emergency money in that case, don't we?
We always need
Now,
emergency money.
you're out of pocket till September, which...
Baked beans.
Yeah.
Right, that's good. Thank you very much.
I was just going to say, in terms of the emails, yes, we had a rather pointless exchange last night. Apologies about
Well,
that.
no, you mostly did
I
this.
made
I
those.
just read them.
I did come into the land of the living eventually, but what has happened is I've now got my new email installed, but it's wiped my personal calendar.
Oh, no.
So I no longer have my personal calendar. All I've got is my Hilton Parish Council calendar, which of course is completely and utterly galactical.
Would you like me to put some information on the calendar for you?
Well, I know when the meetings are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to help.
Well, yeah, I might have to take you up on that. I was just wondering, yeah, you wrote to the parishioners about the hay meadow.
Yes.
What did you tell them?
I told them that the hay meadow was agreed by the parish council in a previous leaflet. I gave them a copy of the leaflet and the map and showed them where the hay meadow was, and I explained about the council's requirement or duty to promote biodiversity.
All right. Oh, sounds very good. Excellent. Okay. No,
Just something I all want to think about is that since they received that letter, they have continued to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Not on the agenda, but yes. Okay.
last.
Right. Okay. So item number
Next one.
45 is to approve the spending on the fireworks. This is Appendix 2. The new fireworks crew, Sharon and Rob, have started. We now have the 6 names of the firework committee. So that's good. And they've given us a list of what they want us to buy. The idea this time is that we will buy them. Previously they bought them, but it was deemed better if we buy them under the Parish Council event. So the Invincible Display Pack Combo at £1,600 discount if we order before 31st August, and additional rockets at 80, no discount. So the request tonight is that we approve a 1780, including VAT spend, which is about in line with previous years, and would certainly be the cost of the takings of last year's event. So
I think they said it's exactly the same cost as last
Well,
year,
yeah.
so they're going for the same package.
Fine. Yeah. Okay.
I'm assuming at a later agenda we're going to discuss more about the fireworks entry and stuff. Because remember last year the money being pain because it was an odd amount running out of change.
It's all yes. Oh, yeah, we need to discuss how much. Oh, well, that's the same for the new firework crew, isn't it? Because you never have enough float.
No, so we'll put that on September.
Yes, yeah, we need to, because we need to discuss how much it was last time. And,
Did you mind?
yeah, okay. So the proposal is that we approve the spend, and I need a seconder for that.
Sure.
Karen seconded it. Okay, thank you. All in favour?
Yeah.
That's all this. Yeah, thank you. And we've had it right. You know who to send it to, do you? Okay. Good. Okay, thank you much. So that's 45. 46 is planning. 46.1, the Planning Committee to review its terms of reference with a view to broadening its scope so that the overall planning related interests of Hilton are served more tactically. Appendix number 3. Now, as I see it, Appendix 3 is the two documents that we got. I'm looking at you, Anne, as if you were the, you sort of initiated it with Rob, didn't you, at the last meeting,
That's
the last
right.
planning meeting. You thought we could expand our brief.
Yeah, and that seems to be what you're suggesting for approval. You not got that?
I think that was isn't it?
It was proposed, it incorporates what we put together last year in terms of how the process of our planning. And the idea was just to try and make sure that we tapped into a broader set of issues, what's going on in the county, etc.
Because Nicola then found this other document, which at the time was Appendix D, which is what the Parish Council had done as a planning subcommittee.
That's right.
Well, that's the draft.
Yes. No.
Yeah, it's not.
Is it? Oh yes, it's got
So
draft.
it's terms of
It's got
reference.
draft. Right, I was looking at the top of the draft. There's going to be watermark across it. Yes.
There
Yes.
seems to be a lot of content here that's duplicated in the other document.
Well, you see, when we suddenly realised that we thought we didn't have a planning policy, so we wrote one, and then this has come to light since. So it might be worth just redoing it. Is that what you're suggesting? If we do a
That we.
because obviously we haven't got a proposal tonight other than sort of review it and maybe expand it anymore.
Sorry, I'm just reminding myself. Can't see.
So in the appendix 3, it just has the two. It references the two policies. It doesn't recommend or suggest a proposal to go forward. Correct me if I'm wrong.
The thing I put together was it would be an offering for the planning committee to, if they wanted to use it or not.
Yes. Is that the document that came from HDC? You sent out.
It
You
was
sent
based
out.
on a number of documents,
Yes.
including HDC.
Yes. Yes. You sent it out, didn't you? To all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think that's a really good document.
But it's not on the appendix, is it?
Well, it's,
Sorry, the one that's here.
It is referenced in
Plan
the appendix.
application adopted 05/11/18.
Yes.
What document's that then? Is that the one you're referring to?
That was the one I wrote.
That's the one you wrote?
Yes.
Okay.
But Anne gave us.
I sent one which was give a broader set of objectives.
Yes.
And I couldn't make the meeting, if you remember,
Yeah.
that you had, so I offered it as a start for 10.
Mm-hmm.
So I was suggesting that we incorporate some of that
Mm-hmm.
into
A
what
bigger
we've done before.
policy document. Okay. Well, bearing in mind your trouble with talking at the moment, shall we carry that forward and
I'll
Right,
have
so-
to bash them together and
Yes.
see what goes.
yeah, that's probably best. Yeah.
Okay.
Because we've now got 3 documents. If we can bring them together, that'd be good for September.
Yeah. So if we use yours
Yes.
Yeah.
as the basis, because that's the one that's been adopted.
Yes.
And then add them.
And the bits and pieces that we've seen on other places. Yeah. And then we can review the other one that was dated August 07. Make sure there's nothing in there that's relevant. Okay.
Right, thank you.
Okay. So therefore, on that basis, we haven't really moved very far on that one. I suggest that the planning committee chair stays as is, because the idea was that if the planning committee
That's
changed, then the chair would take on the new role, knowing what the new role was. So as it is going to stay as it is. until we approve new policy.
Okay,
I suggest we leave things as they are.
agree.
Okay, thank you.
Just while we're on planning, I did bring it up at the planning meeting that I just feel quite strongly that we need some training, because there is, you know, certainly a lack of knowledge about perhaps, you know, how the importance of parish council planning committees.
And if I could add to that, I've been picking up recently that a number of parishes in particular are not happy with the planning process and how decisions are going, and they're going to be asking the likes of Cambridge County and HDC to look at it again. So it might be an opportunity for us to pull our thoughts together and
Yeah.
But from time to time, they do send out notes of training. They do. At HTC, they do training.
So is there, well, is anyone here been trained?
yeah.
Some time ago. Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know how the process has changed.
Didn't they come here to do a session?
They did a principles, or it wasn't on planning. It was something else to do with sort of
Oh,
how
well, there's something here and something in Hampton.
principles and etiquette and
I
stuff.
just think with the new, you know, Huntingdonshire plan and the fact that the overall the plan has changed, hasn't it, in March 2019?
The local
The
plan.
local plan,
Yes.
sorry, yeah.
Yes.
I just think it would be really good for at least one or two of us to go on some training.
Yeah, I mean, if the training, when the training comes through, I mean,
Yeah.
we can always ask when the next courses are.
Would you be able to look into
But,
that? Please, that'd be good.
Yeah, so previously they just sent out emails with the next course.
I have to say, you know, it does have a big impact. We've had parishioners that have, you know, fed back to us that it's how it's impacted on them. So it is.
You mean to say, like, how the committee know what they can and can't make decisions based on, and what they need to be following as a structure?
Yes, and the right processes to follow. Because it is the parish council's approval or refusal is really important, and or no comment. And I don't think the importance of that is quite understood sometimes.
Okay, item 47 is handyman. Now, appendix number 4 gives us a bit of history. Okay, basically, Bernie has resigned with immediate effect. So we no longer see him in his high vis picking up litter and whatever, and in the garden and things. So item 47.1 was to obviously write a thank letter to Bernie and suggest a small thank you gift.
Yep.
I don't know if anyone had in mind. I mean, the figure of £50 was.
Yeah, I think that would be.
But then it's a question of what they actually buy with the gift, and therefore it would need to be a sort of a plus or minus depending on if somebody knew.
I can speak
I mean,
to Jackie.
Yes,
if you think
but bear in
that
mind
would
you're on
be-
camera. Be careful what you suggest.
Sorry?
Bear in mind you're on camera. You might want to.
Oh, right.
You might want to be careful about what we. But I don't know whether Bernie follows us.
want it to be a surprise for you?
Yes.
I don't know whether Bernie follows us, but yes, it'd be good. But I would think it would be in that order, in that region.
Yeah. Or we could just get him a
Paul.
vendor voucher for £50.
Depending on what his hobbies are. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. Well, I'm proposing that we spend. Where's this? Yes. I suggest we send a max of 60, target 50. And if you could sort of let us know by email what's happening, that'd be great. Thank you. So that's the proposal, that we send a maximum of 60. Can I have a seconder for that, please?
Yeah, I'll say.
And seconding it. All in favour? Thank you very much. That's good.
And a letter?
You need to approve that as well? Okay. Yeah, that's right. That proposal should also include a thank letter Are we happy that the thank letter can be written by our clerk and then?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Thank you very much.
I'll second this.
Yeah. That's right. That's good. That's okay. That's point one.
Yes, voting through.
Thank you.
I'm going to say I'm not going to send it. Okay, so 4.72 is to consider and decide how to recruit a new handyman. Now, as you will be aware, Bernie was an employee of the parish and had been for some time. So the question is whether we continue to have a handyman who is employed by the clerk, so employed by the council but looked after by the clerk, or whether we have a handyman who's a subcontractor and has always have to have his own insurance and liability or whatever, and tools and things, and then we would phone him or her up and give him jobs or her job. Now, most councils do have their employees, and the suggestion there is that we would have more flexibility, but
I feel quite strongly that Bernie just did, some weeks he wouldn't do any hours, and other weeks he would do, say, 5 hours, and then he would invoice the parish council. So, so it wasn't always a regular amount of hours. I've had a good chat with Bernie about it, and really, the last few years he's just picked up litter and kept the village, done a fantastic job, and we're very grateful. He's picked up litter and kept maintained the village. I personally think we shouldn't employ another handyman. That we should perhaps put this out to a subcontractor, because so the other people that do work for the parish council, like John Carter, etc., are all subcontractors, aren't they? I just think there's probably not actually enough work where Bernie wouldn't fix anything, so he wasn't there to repair anything. And I think if we need something repaired, we need maybe a proper tradesman to do it.
The original terms of the contract, the employment contract, did include bits and pieces. But as you say, it's down to the competence of the person who is employed, whether they're happy to do that sort of stuff.
And just by the nature of saying a handyman at 5 hours a week, you may well get another chap who's retired or someone who's retired, and then if we're employing somebody, we are liable for sickness payment, for annual leave, and all the benefits of being employed. And I'm not saying that makes me sound harsh, and of course Bernie never took advantage of that, and he was paid below the minimum wage. But I do just think actually everything else is subcontracted out.
Can I put the opposite argument to that? For various reasons. Firstly, I think it would be to the benefit of the village if it was somebody local, like a Bernie, but somebody who had their own personal investment in the village. If we were to give it to a contract company or just a larger entity, I think we'd have to look further afield outside the village, because I can't think of anybody particularly who would do that. If we're looking at sort of paying equal or slightly better wages, then I don't think we will find a contractor that would be prepared to do it for less than £20 an hour would be a good estimate, because that's what we're paying John Carter. And there are certain pressures on that to lift it, so I think we were in that order of payment. The other thing is this public and employer liability. Somebody who's going to be on their own, who's retired for a few hours, who's really committed to the village, you take that on. So I'm proposing that we do employ somebody. The amount of money we're talking about does not mean that we have to pay a pension or any of that kind of thing, and it's also, I think it's healthy that we should be giving people statutory holiday and that kind of thing. So,
I don't know the history of it, but why do we have a separate handyman, someone that does the grass?
Yeah.
Why
Well, I
are
was
they
just
separate
about to go on
roles?
to say, I also think that burning was never properly managed. And I think maybe the mechanism which would be easier to do is just to bring in other open spaces which currently manage John Carter. And therefore, all of that is sort of done together. And there might be some tasks that are more appropriate to the handyman, like repairing fences and things like that, that John, we've used him with the rotated hours to do. But it might be more appropriate for the handyman to do that if he's got hours spare. So to be able to manage it collectively would make some sense, I think.
Even the
Do we
handyman.
need two separate people though?
Well, for the time being, two separate people, because we've got a contract in place with John and we've got this new one coming up. It may be that we can organise it so when both come to renew, that we can get it tied up.
But we can't then, if we take on a handyman, we can't sort of sack him in a year's time because the contract is ending with John Carter. Unless we do a fixed term contract of 1 year.
That's the alternative. We can have a contract, we can do a rolling contract, or we can say do a contract, see how it goes.
And
It'll be a new idea.
if the handyman is just purely picking up litter and cleaning, you know, keeping the village tidy, not using any tools, I would have thought they're covered under our public liability.
Because they're still not us. There would be if they were employed by us. But the handyman should be doing more than that. For instance, he should be looking after the benches, maintenance, keeping an eye on the notice boards, keeping that. It's just going around.
Previous man did.
Yes, just
Playground.
playground, look after playground, just sort of. As you say, there is a potential for duplication with the grass cutting, but it's just anything that's is pointed out to us. At the moment, you know, I was approached yesterday about some overhanging branches. Well, it'd be difficult to employ a contractor, a subcontractor, to go and remove those. Or alternatively, you tell the households that maybe you could remove the branches, but it'd be so much easier if we looked after somebody.
But could we not employ a handyman on a subcontractor basis, though? You know, somebody who's... because Bernie actually used to just invoice us like a subcontractor.
Mm-hmm.
It was a varying amount, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, it depends how the contract is worded. As to, I mean, it'd be difficult to guarantee 5 hours, or whether we have to think about whether it's actually going to be an average amount of hours. That's the risk, isn't it? But then you see, in the winter time, there's always things you can do, aren't there? Whether we for tidying up.
For 5 hours a week?
Well, indeed, be 5 hours. As you say, at the moment, it's 5 hours on Bernie's employee, which presumably was carried over from the previous employee. I don't know where the 5 hours came from. But you're right, I mean, Bernie's last few invoices were probably 2.5.
Yeah.
They weren't
It
an
does
awful lot, but they were slitter.
It does seem to me we've got a bit more flexibility and reliability of being there when we need him if we employ somebody. I'm sure we've all had experience of subcontractors who, because the job was small, they've never done up over
because-
6 months.
yes,
And
Yeah,
frankly, I'm fed up of it just from a craftsman point of view.
yes, let's face it, yes, yeah.
I just think that if we had somebody that, in a sense, belonged to us, not entirely, then we might have a more reliable standards. And it does seem to me, if you've got the option to expand the role at some point, you know, why not be transparent about that to start with?
Yeah, I mean, that would be depend on how we formulate the contract.
Yeah.
No, we have to come to bring the clerk in here because you've got experience. I'm going to head of a 12-month contract.
So I think it would be quite a good idea to do a fixed term contract.
Just review
because
how it's
each
going.
year we can then review and see whether we still want the same terms or
Bring it
whether
up.
things might
Yeah.
change.
It won't be around that 12
Done,
months. It'll
sorry.
be whatever it needs to be, bring it up to coincide with John Carter's contract.
No, it would be over.
Okay.
Because then it would make sense to just have then one person doing it all, really, wouldn't it?
Well, it gives us that option. It might not make sense because you might have somebody who's very much into gardening and green management and they don't want to be picking up litter. You know, so you might have two different...
A lot of councils employ a groundsman and a handyman.
Yeah.
Well, let's see who we can get, because, you know, if we're looking locally, we're going to have to...
Can I propose at first that we put together a job spec and
Yes.
try and find somebody locally on a fixed term
Yes.
contract.
Now,
I second that idea.
Who
Okay.
are we?
that's,
Open spaces, you're happy with that? Well, that's the second issue, really. Do you want open spaces to take on the,
Can I just point out, in the last meeting, we got what did we get, what was it called? Work employee committee together.
yes, staffing.
Staffing committee, so I'm
Yes.
assuming they would need to.
They need to be involved in the recruitment. The employee couldn't report to Green Open Spaces,
no, of course.
so you'd have to, Green Open Spaces be involved in
The job spec.
But with
job
John,
spec.
with John, we
You said managed by.
So there's things he's doing in the directed hours that's outside the contract.
Yeah,
Through
but
open
he's
spaces.
not an employee.
No, okay. Yeah, okay, so we'll be the line manager.
Yeah, basically, you can't.
Whether he says I've got 3 hours spare this week, is there anything you
A
want to
small
do?
one.
But that would work, I think, because then if you could come up with the job spec, then the staffing committee
Do them.
would then get involved in the recruiting,
Yeah.
because we would then be involved in the interview process based on what you put forward. Okay, so based on that sort of general sort of on a fixed contract, see how it goes, because it's different. I mean, say the previous role kind of evolved. I think Bernie been in the job for getting on for 15 years, so it's kind of like an opportunity to try things with different things, see how it works out. So I propose that we ask the Green. Oh, Kieran proposed that.
Kieran,
Yes. Does anyone want to second Kieran's proposal that the Green Open Spaces come up with a job spec? All in favour? Sharon, you're
I'm probably going to abstain.
Yeah.
abstain or against?
Against.
okay. So that's a 5-1 for Sharon against. Okay. So based on that, you guys come up with a work spec. And then some more to put on your paper. Okay. And then presumably once we've got the work specification, then we can decide how we're going to recruit. That'd be, yeah, Sharon, you okay with that?
Yeah.
We get involved in the recruitment. Okay. Thank you very much. That's good. Right, Hilton Traffic Group, Appendix 5.
Do you want to do the...
Yes, it's to do with your NHI bit, isn't it? Hang on, to receive the report from the Hilton Traffic Group you met in the church, didn't you?
We did. So I don't know if we need to discuss the members, because I know there was a few people left on the group that were from amalgamations of previous, so I don't know if everyone wanted to stay on or not. Not everyone attended. So myself, Ian, Anne was unavailable, and then Andy and Ken from HAT, and Lisa from Lorry Watch, who lives on the main road.
Yeah.
And then Graham, Peter, and one to attend. We did invite someone from Speed Watch, but no one was able to attend either.
Mm-hmm.
So the purpose was the group was to amalgamate the groups we currently had, amalgamate the knowledge, and look at all the different road and traffic groups that we had, such as the Road Watch, C14, HAT, HCV, all those different things, Speed Watch.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
It was less to amalgamate the groups, because the groups were still
Oh, sorry, yes, no, you're right.
operate. It's about amalgamating our thinking, so each could do their thing.
It was to bring someone from all the groups together so that we,
Yeah.
you're right, the groups are still staying separate, correct? So we wanted to look really at all the different issues affecting traffic in Hilton, like speed, the amount of traffic volume, lorries, all those things. So the issues that we discussed was basically the overall volume, the constant nature of traffic, particularly the HCVs, the huge impact that noise and vibration is having, particularly for those living right onto Boston Road. Lorry Watch has recently started and been doing lorry counts for sort of 12-hour periods, as well as the lorry watches during the restrictions, and seeing large numbers of lorries throughout the whole day. So really the nighttime issue is a big issue because it affects people getting to sleep and is disturbance, but the volume of lorries generally throughout the day is also an issue. And then the other issues were generally the speed, pollution, and then other safety issues. We talked quite a lot about the crossroads and the lighting and the poor lighting and lack of adequate signage there. I did want to see if, so we, as well as discussing all the issues, we wanted to look at the upcoming LHI funding application. So we were trying to look at different options for not only the funding but also long term. So our long term plan, or what we discussed, was that we would like ideally to extend the TRO to make it a full-time ban from lorries through the village, and that would be the aim ultimately. And we discussed really that we'd probably unlikely to get anything in place until the A14 is completed.
Yeah, sure.
So it's just about what we can do in that interim period to collect as much data and as much evidence as possible, that once we come to do that, we can really be in a good position to do that. And then short term, we discussed what we would do for the LHI funding, which really we couldn't do anything that would assist towards the TRO, because those are things like traffic collection, data, and those sorts of things weren't really a highways improvement issue. So the things that we discussed were improved lighting and signage at the crossroads, changing the road markings to show narrowing of the roads and red markings, like a visual change that people can see, and like entry markers warning as people come towards the village or towards the crossroads, so people slow down as they enter the village. And we also discussed sort of post-meeting a little bit about one-way traffic restrictions into both ends of the village by priority traffic. One of the aims for those things is really just to make it a less favourable route for lorries. So the outcome of the meeting really was to discuss those options at today's meeting and come up with a plan that we can take forward for the application, which the deadline is the 4th of August. So Anne has started work on an application. We discussed those as separate ideas, or whether we could come up with a road improvement package to submit as one single idea as a package of improvements.
So shall I pick up
You
from
can if
there?
I'll just stop there. Presumably, we need to now approve. You've effectively given us the report of the meeting. So just being pedantic here, we need to approve, receive the report that you've done. So I mean, I need to take a vote on that. We're happy to receive the report. I propose that. Yeah, hands. Yeah. So all in favour? Yeah. General. Fine. So thanks for that. Yeah. So Anne, you're going to talk us through the LHI.
Yes, guilt because I couldn't make the meeting. So what I did was I had a look at the LHI criteria, and you'll see on the other document, Hilton Traffic LHI case version 2. There are 4 questions there, and they come from the guidance. They say there are these 4 things that you need to be able to answer. And the answers that I'm suggesting here, in a sense, allow for almost any of the options that the group came up with to be the thing to go for. But in subsequent discussions between ourselves and Lisa, well, I suppose on the one hand, I'm thinking go for something very bold, because you might get something a bit less.
Yeah, sure.
So where we ended up was saying, well, why don't we apply for single link entry coming in at the village. Frankly, I would want it on the 3 at each end of Pond Road, but also on Church End, Green End, where a bit comes out onto the backward side. That we should go for that, because for me, when you look at all the issues and all the speed things and the trucks, it's just so easy for vehicles to whoosh through.
Especially last weekend when the 1040 was closed. Shows what's available. Yeah.
And unless we do something very bold, it seems to me, that it actually says, "Poor, it's not worth going through Hilton." I mean, Patworth It's got a huge number of chicanes and bumps
Yes.
and whatever.
Yes.
They've got a little great bypass going around.
Yes.
I don't necessarily want a bypass, but
It shouldn't be
We
a fast
discussed at the
option.
last meeting at Godmerchester now, since they've got the roundabout, we think that's encouraging more lorries to come from
Yeah,
Hilton.
yeah.
Because the lorries have to slow down through that route. So
saying all that housing and everything. Yeah.
Oh, the roundabout's by the new building, housing estate.
So that's all slowing down that road.
Yeah.
Yes, because you've got traffic lights and you've got, oh, that's a good
So
point.
Hilton's looking more attractive route for lorries.
Good point.
So if you're in agreement,
Mhm.
we'll do the electronic application for as many chicanes and motorways and
Yeah.
obstructions as we can get.
Yeah.
And see how we get on.
Yeah,
Fine.
that's a good
Yeah.
idea.
Are you proposing it? That sounds
Yeah.
okay. So that's well, I'm happy to second that. Anyone want to say with that?
when we,
Oh, draws.
just say when we do the application, then there's obviously the financial issue is that I believe the application can only be a maximum of £15,000.
So we need
And-
chums.
We have to, as part of the application, one of the criteria I know for success that from Andy's application last year is
More
the
money.
percentage that you put towards it yourself as a.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that can. We discussed at the meeting about who we could approach for funding outside of the council, whether any of the hauliers would be prepared to support any application.
Unlikely.
Whether what we did discuss, like some hauliers have been do like positive press particularly, and actually maybe we could use that and try and get a story together about
Look how wonderful they are.
and sort of Lisa's very good at this side of it, so
Good job, yeah.
There's also groups like CCF who is doing the funding for our cycle NMU pathway, and they are a almost distribution body for a whole number of donations or sources of donations, from all sorts of organisations. So we're very happy to approach them again.
Have you got any response from the local authority on this? Have they been approached?
Well, only in so much as anything we've tried in the past.
Yeah.
They say, yeah, you can have a lumps and lumps and stuff, but pay for yourself. So there doesn't seem to be any funding from council to do anything, so you have to go elsewhere.
my understanding about the application though is that we have to show where the funding for the whole
I know.
project's coming from when we apply. Is that what you've got from it or not?
We'll come up with something. We are exploring these sources. I think that's what.
It's going to be difficult to commit if it's not on
Yeah.
the agenda now, is it? So therefore we can't approve any monies tonight. We have to say, well,
But we can say in the application that we haven't been in discussions with X and Y and Z.
yeah, okay. Andy, do far away.
Thank you. No, you don't have to say where the funding's coming from. But one of our donations was an anonymous donor who didn't want to be named. All you have to do is commit to a percentage of it, and typically, as you know, minimum of 20, preferably 20, sorry, minimum of 10, preferably 20 or above
Do you have to show like any documentation, like as evidence that you've got that other funding?
You only do when you're successful.
Further on in the
Yes.
process, okay.
Yeah.
So you've got time.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So that's the proposal.
And we've got another meeting, sorry, it says that we've got another meeting with the trustee group on Wednesday,
Right.
so I think we would probably work on the application, how to take it
As a-
forward.
As an agreement.
Based on the approval of the parish council, and then obviously the application has to be in before another meeting, so we'd obviously have to then go ahead with the application
Yes.
based on.
Would we need to see it as a parish council? Would we need to see the agreement of what we did? Or are the if we agree with the principle that
Yeah.
you're going for as many chicanes as possible,
You've got a copy of the
and
form.
if you want to do anything else, you need to bring us back to the meeting. But if the recommendation that the LHI is going to opt for chicanes to make single lane traffic passing points, then that was the proposer. I was seconding it. If that's if that's what you think you can do, then that would be
We're
fine.
not talking in the middle of the village because I think we discussed that would worsen the noise, but we're talking
Yeah.
entrance
In,
and
yeah.
through their entrances so that hopefully it won't impact.
But we'll phrase that then as just a single lane at the start of the village entrances and exit.
Like the
Although
avenue.
it has, you know, they've had the road closed sign coming from Patworth. It's caused quite a lot of traffic chaos coming in and out of Church End and the village. So I think we'd have to be really careful where we
Well,
put it, where
one
it
of the-
was.
One of the difficulties we have at the minute is the A14 building is still going on. So we're guesstimating a little bit, obviously, because when all that's finished, then some of it will go away. But not even.
But also temporary road closure is always going to be more of a problem, aren't
Yeah, yeah.
because you don't know whether the sign's an old one that hasn't been taken down from last week. If the chicanes are a permanent feature, yes, it'll be a problem for a month or two perhaps, but then people will say, use it or avoid it. Yeah, avoid it. Okay. Right,
Can we go ahead and
I'm happy to second Kira's proposal. Have we got enough wording there
So, sorry, your proposal is,
that we, the LHI bid would be for chicanes or single lane
all
restrictions,
entrances?
entrances or exits to the village. Entry points. Village entry points. We need to specify a number because there'll be obviously a consultation with CCC and
Yeah,
CODA.
but if
Okay. So based on that, Kieran proposed that. I second it. Are we all in favour or can I have a show of hands? Sharon, you're a bit...
Sorry.
You,
No.
are you going ahead or saying?
Go again.
Okay.
I just
Oh, yeah.
think it's,
Chaos.
it is going to cause chaos coming
Okay.
into the village.
So that's fine. That's
That's obviously.
over the page.
That's the whole idea.
Well, if
Right.
not, if you live here.
Item 49 is the playground. So this is just a confirmation of things. The start date is now advised as mid-September. It says to confirm start date. Presumably we are being told by, I don't know what a name pass, but it's not a So that's for information. The start of the playground is mid-September, which is presumably quite good for growing grass. We need to place the order for the playground, so presumably we'll need to approve that. Okay, so we need to have a proposer, myself, that we place the order for the playground. Can I have a seconder, please? Seconded. Laura, all in favour? Yes. Good. Yes, thank you, Josh, because it's awkward. And 49.3 is to discuss and decide upon whether to sell the old playground equipment and the method of sale. Presumably, it has to go somewhere. If it can be sold, that'd be good. eBay kind of springs to mind, but then someone will need to monitor on eBay whether there are other selling methods.
Any eBay
Auction,
estimates?
Sarah mentioned an auction. Wow.
Oh,
It isn't eBay.
what's the chances?
I did have a look on eBay and there has been old playground that sold on eBay.
Okay.
Yeah,
But
you
anybody
might get a few
local?
£100 quid.
Sorry. Just saying if anybody local wanted.
No
I suppose-
schools or preschools.
Oh, no, I just thought that'd be on my garden.
And we could offer it with the previous inspection report, couldn't we?
I've been asked about liabilities actually.
Well,
Okay.
yes, exactly.
Well,
Sold
we'll
the
see.
scene.
Yeah.
What about Facebook Marketplace? We could put it on the Parish Council Facebook,
Mhm.
just so that, you know, that just goes out to local people.
Mhm.
And the
So if anyone's
village.
interested, they contact.
Yeah, that would be kind of an easier route, plus you don't pay eBay some of things now.
Probably a good place to start.
Presumably the contractor who's doing the playground isn't interested in hanging on to it. In fact, he'll presumably rip it up and leave it on one side, won't he?
I think it's in the quote
It's
for
in the
removal
quote for
and, take it away, so,
Right.
I'm assuming if we don't, well,
I'm
we
just thinking
still
about-
need it removed,
Yes.
because no one's gonna come around and
Yes, but I'm just thinking about the sort of coordination of it all.
Yeah,
There's removal and removal.
Well,
Removal is
yes.
chucking the skip, or there's
Yes.
removal and have it in one place
Yes.
to sell.
Yes, quite.
Oh, we
might
could
actually cost us-
specify that, couldn't we?
Yes,
that-
but it might cost us more because they've got to dig it up carefully
Yeah.
rather than just pull it from the middle.
Well, no, I think if they're saying removal, it's up to us to specify that, and I'm sure the playground committee will
Yes.
doing that, saying, actually, you know, we've sold this and it needs to be delicately.
Okay. Before it's too late then, presumably we could test the water and see if anybody local would be interested in it.
Can we just
It's
ask
simple.
that, because if I was quoting for this job, I'd have a digger in there and just rip it up. So can we find that out first, whether they can do it without extra cost?
Yeah. Although I suppose there might be some mitigation where they don't have to take it away, it might be less
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's-
recycling fees or...
If we found that out first,
Yeah.
before we sold it. If it's
Yeah,
like an
that's a
extra
good
500 or
idea.
600 quid to do that.
I'll ask Sarah to contact Compound because she's been in contact with them to see about that.
Yeah, see what their thoughts are.
Brilliant.
Yeah, there's,
Another option completely different is a friend of mine who's got a handicapped daughter. She's 25, and there's a place that she goes to, plus other youngsters of not a similar age and ability. And I know they have various things that are not totally dissimilar to the equipment we've got here. Can I approach them to see if they would like that equipment?
are we still going to go through the option of just checking that Compound aren't going to rip it up, that the quote isn't going to go more?
And also, what about
Yes,
if it's
Starting point. Yes, if we start off that that's how it's going to be, and then,
Yeah,
yeah,
would they need to look at the safety of it?
well,
first?
they would do, obviously, but it was just, I'm just making my mind thinking other directions as well whilst we're here.
because we're only presumably talking of not an awful lot as a selling price. Yes, so I mean, it's not, you know, if it was a donation to a good cause,
That's
that'd be
where I was
fine.
coming
Yeah,
from.
That'd be
Just
fine.
thinking
But
of
we
the
need to make sure that we're not,
donation
it's not going to cost £1,000 extra to dig it out rather than just pull it out. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
if you could ask Sarah to do that, she's not here.
Well, I'll do
A
that.
series of information,
Yes, okay, so which one has to be part of it? Okay, well, item number one is to, oh sorry, we've done that, haven't we? So you wanted to discuss that, so we're happy, one, two, yeah. Okay, so the action is to discuss what approach Compound and see if their removal price is based on moving it in a careful manner such that it can be passed on to somebody else. And that's it. Can I have a seconder for that, please? Thank you. A second. All in favour?
Yes.
Fine. That's okay.
Do you want to have a later motion at the next meeting's in September?
I think that's going to be okay, isn't it? Because they're not going to start till September the middle of, are they?
But we want to be able to post it maybe on Facebook to see in advance, maybe we want people to sell it. So
Okay.
if I let you know the outcome,
Okay. Well, in that case, then, well, sorry.
So did you second that last motion?
Kieran.
Kieran did.
So if Compound come back favourably, we're going to have to either go the Facebook eBay route, or we go the charity route.
shall I suggest that if I get in touch with them, what Sarah does, I'll let Ian and Nicola know the outcome, so then you could approach and then...
But that's only applicable if we go Ian's route rather than trying to sell it for money.
And only applicable if there's no odd cost. So if there's
Yeah.
like 50 quid extra, then it's a decision point, isn't it?
Yes. So we need to. So assuming there's no extra cost, we need to decide tonight whether we go for the selling cost or whether we go for the charity cost. Bearing in mind that the charity might not want it.
Well, that's true.
So then I think I would feel more comfortable going to the charity cost, charity option.
Yeah.
And then the third route, if they don't want it, is to Facebook and
Yes.
the rest.
So I think that would give us an option to carry on going over summer without having a meeting. So I mean, we're all happy with that process.
Yeah.
And then we hang on to the end of that.
Yeah, so if the charity's not interested, where do you want to post it?
Facebook Marketplace.
This side a bit quiet, that sort of stuff.
They include it.
And eBay.
Yeah.
Okay, so assuming there is no extra cost, it's proposed that Ian will approach his charity. If they're not interested, we'll post on Facebook.
Fine. Okay.
Can you propose
No,
that,
do
Brian?
that.
I'm going to propose that.
Yeah.
Kieran, you second it. Okay. Based on that, you want to have me to approve it?
Yeah.
Great.
I
Thank you.
just get one more thing on the background.
Yeah.
If I'm allowed. Did the funding agreement arrive?
We're still looking at that.
Okay.
It's in the infirmary at the moment. Right. Okay. Item 50.
I'm only asking because we can't place the order, so...
No, it was urgent. It needs to be re-signed, doesn't it? Yeah, at least the current holder is responding.
Okay.
So we'll try and get it off. Yes. Okay. To discuss and decide when and where the second football net should be put on the football pitch this summer. Now, I haven't got any supporting document for this, and I'm not really too sure what's this about, really.
I think this has come about because last year we said in a parish council meeting that we were going to put up the second net, and in fact somebody donated the nets, didn't they?
Mm-hmm.
But the second football net has never been put up, has it?
We haven't had both nets up for a long time. I think we.
And I think last year it was agreed, before the summer, that the second, there'd be a goal post at each end, because that's the whole point of having a pitch, isn't it?
Well, it does tend to, at the moment, it doesn't get used an awful lot. The single goal doesn't get used an awful lot.
Because there's not a goal each end, so...
no, it's normally not enough to warrant a second goal. But whether more would turn up if there's a second goal, I don't suppose we can...
Because I can't remember the last time there's been 2 goals.
Quite a few years ago. We then need to instruct John to cut the grass. Because at the moment, there's just about enough traffic to keep the grass down at one end.
There's often kids playing at the weekends, isn't there?
It doesn't get used much at all.
So, but the hay's only just been mown.
Yes, it should be out there.
Yeah.
Encourage them, yes.
What happens now with the grass? You said it doesn't get mown down.
When we had an active team here, we used to mow the football pitch to a recognised size. Not where our goals are, I have to say. They tend to move around. Since there's been no football club playing there, we haven't gone to the effort of mowing it. So the hay cut's now just been taken, so we potentially could start mowing again. But I think last year we just mowed a small section around where the one goal was.
I have to say that would be a reason that it wouldn't get used, because if it's hay there, you can't play football on it, can you? So.
Well, actually, in reality, what happens is that the grass, once it's past its first bloom, does tend to not grow through the heat of the summer. So from here, July, August, it doesn't grow a lot. So it's not a big deal. So,
I just think it would be a good maybe experiment this year to see if it does encourage some of the children in the village to get out and use the football pitch, because it is a shame if we've been donated nets, 2 years ago, is it now?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That we've not got a goal, a pitch that is usable with 2 goal.
I mean, it just should add before, when we used to mow the grass for the winter football and cricket in the summer, which is the way it should be. Sports, the sports traditionally should play there. So to mow, I don't know, have we ever mowed the football pitch in the summer? I don't think we have. Maybe
Once very briefly, we did try mowing alternate halves.
I think as well, if it's there mown, it gives the option to, there's a way out there idea, that maybe a football club would restart in the village, or you'd be able to get someone that wants to get a group of kids together and start up a football club for kids in the village or something like. If it's not there, it's not an option, but I think it would be nice to be able to do
Why don't we
that.
just do it?
There isn't anything for
Not
older
really,
children,
is
is
it?
I
there? So
don't see an
obviously
objection to it.
the park is for young children, and there isn't anything for older children. And I just think there are quite a few, lads that show a lot of promise in football. I know, one lad is playing for Cambridge United, and so, I think it would get used if there was a goal each end.
Can we find out? can you put something on Facebook about?
Ooh.
Get
Do we see comments?
But then we don't have another meeting till September and the summer's then gone, isn't it? So it seems a shame to wait a whole another year again and we've not done it.
There is a logistical problem, as much as the holes, the second post, the second net have gone, have been sort of eroded over time. So we might need to get hold of our friend with the metal detector, because we don't know where the second post, the second holes are.
The metal thing's still down there.
I imagine so. I can't imagine they would have got dug up. But I think the post holes will still be there, but they're not
Is that
visible.
something John Carter did?
Well, once you've found them, it's a relatively easy job to
Yeah.
But if you mowed the pitch, would it not be apparent where they are?
No.
Because there's a pitch, is it not a certain size?
No. No.
I thought you could rotate the goal.
We have done. When we've had mowed it for the winter football, we have to do it to a certain size
Yeah,
given by the
yeah.
FA. But where our posts were, there's never been any official dimensions.
The other thing is the second goal is not in good condition because it's been attended to by people. It's still a goal, but it doesn't have the bits to make it look nice. And the net's in need of some crochet work. So apart from that, I mean, it would look
So
okay.
apart from the logistical thing of actually getting it done,
Yes,
right, is there actually an objection to doing it? Or what is the objection, if there is any objection? No one's got any objections?
No objection.
Okay.
Other than, will it be used? We go through a lot of effort. We get John Carter to mow the pitch, which is the first time he's done it. Well, he just doesn't do it in the summer. So that's probably going to be done at directed hours.
Well,
It's just...
should we try it for summer?
Yeah, even a
Well, I
month.
think it would be really good, and I know
Good
Sarah
try.
Partridge,
Yeah.
who's not here tonight, felt quite strongly, because, parishioners do mention that there's only ever one football net.
I know that this week we've got a few extra things for children this year, like the wide games on the green. It might be useful for them to use for arranging, I don't know what the wide games include, but football
Scramble over the goal.
matches.
That's what often happens.
I think,
I think
because we have Feast Week and there's so much going on, if there was a football pitch, I think children would come and use it in the summer holidays.
The proposal is then we do it for just summer, see how it works.
Yeah.
we can advertise it on Facebook that it's now open as a pitch for everyone to use, so people are aware.
I think we'd gain quite a lot of kudos for the effort it's going to take.
Okay.
Because we've been saying this for years now.
Well, I say the proof of the pudding is that it doesn't get used an awful lot at the moment, but it'd be interesting to see whether the second goal does attract more interest.
So have you still got the new nets that were donated?
No, because the new net is on there. The old net's been trashed by our little friends. Not trashed, it's dramatic.
So is there not two new nets?
Yes, the new
Well
net has
used.
been attended to by the youth
Oh,
or
right.
somebody.
Oh, I see, right.
Pigeons have probably nibbled it away,
Yeah.
perhaps.
It's on the school.
So the new net does need attention.
What we need is a female football team.
Yeah. Especially that we've reached the semi-finals, haven't we? It's
Well,
very-
that well inspiring.
A
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So the proposal is we put it up for summer and we can review it at our next parish council meeting.
putting up.
Well, we'll have to. We could be happy to get in touch with them. Unless
I can ask.
unless anybody knows a man with a metal detector, or a woman, sorry, a person who has a metal detector,
No.
then we have had a contact from somebody. So we'll look into that and see if we can
Okay.
find the posts, holes. If the holes aren't there, then it will be a problem. But if the holes are there, it shouldn't take too long. And we'll put the other net up and the goal up, which will free up the pavilion.
It's not too difficult to put in those metal things. We've got Ludo.
Well, yeah.
That is something to the ground.
I've got a doodle for the things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not minuting about
Right. So that's the proposal.
Putting in.
Can I have a
for summer.
yes? For summer. Can I have a second to that? Sharon, second. Yeah. All in favour? Okay. Any against? Or
Sorry, no, yeah, I'm
for? Yeah, okay.
That was everyone.
That's it. Good, okay.
And don't worry, it is possible to have a competitive match between two teams using just one goal.
Your jerseys, don't you?
Sorry?
Your jerseys.
No, you can just use one goal.
Off the pitch, yeah.
Yeah, that's how we used to play. You can do it.
Was that Irish football?
That is
Sorry.
the
Yeah.
test. Sorry.
Right,
Moving on from the North and Watford.
Okay. Moving
okay,
on to-
item 51, NMU, is your voice going to hang out? Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, perhaps you can pass it to me, can we, for this one? This is NMU Appendix 6. I've
Lots of
activity
stuff,
coming
yeah.
along this one. So it's quite a report, isn't it? That's been
Very
so
good,
the computer
actually.
shut down.
If I can just say that I passed on the Transport Initiatives report to Sam Weller of Cambridgeshire Foundation, and he's very impressed with what they're doing, and given that they're the funding folk, that's rather reassuring. The funding, the reason that all these items are on the agenda is that the funding folk require us to invite views of the public, to do a bit of a survey, to provide them with all the details, the measures and so on, the route options. So in a sense we haven't got a choice but to do all these things. So what you've got in your multitude of documents is a leaflet draft proposing a meeting. We've got 2 dates on here, Saturday 13th, Thursday 18th. Speaking to Transport Initiatives, they can only do Thursday the 18th evening. So I'm proposing to go for Thursday the 18th, and that the leaflet therefore invites everybody. But we can also invite people through Facebook and the website. Transport Initiatives are very happy that we put the report.
Can we just stop there? You've just made a proposal that the meeting's held on Thursday the 18th.
I'm going to do it in a step-by-step thing, I don't know whether
I'll
go
propose
back,
that.
but yeah,
I'll
okay.
I'll
Do
try
we
to do it.
do we need to check that there's a room or a building available, just
The
in case?
village hall is not available on Thursdays, I don't
But
think.
the chapel might be, which we can do because the chair's already out, so, and it's quite central.
Anywhere would be
Okay.
somebody's
Okay.
back garden. Yes.
Yes. So okay, if we go in the close order then, so 51.1 is to agree to hold a public meeting on the Thursday rather than Saturday, and that'll be evening.
Yeah,
So that's your proposal. I'm happy to second that.
good.
All in favour?
Me.
B. So that's good. Ticking off.
Thank
Okay.
The Transport Initiatives and the County Council are happy that we share the report on our website, and Steve Essex of Transport Initiatives says, happy that you put my email address within that, so if people want to contact him they can, and I've said that's fine as long as you share the comments that you get. So second proposal is that we get that on the website now. I should say that Sam Weller from the funding lot has already been asked as to why it's not there.
Okay. So this is the 33-pager
Yes.
with all the details and options there.
Yeah, and
The-
this last one's got the costs and the maps. And
Yes, 30
Very
pages.
thorough.
Which is, yeah, it's a lot of stuff there, isn't it?
Yeah.
When I first read it, I thought it was stating the obvious, and then it sort of...
They got more
It's
information.
got more and more information in it.
Yeah.
And if we're going to invite parishioners to comment, should we be directing them as to what they should be commenting, or just say, please comment, please feel free to comment?
The main thing we're asking, good point, the main thing that we're asking to comment on is the report at the end clearly recommends Route 6,
Yep.
says Route 5 is a sort of next best,
Yeah, yeah.
but from a safety point of view,
Mm-hmm.
Route 6. There are costs there which are a bit of a nightmare, but we always knew that.
On the just,
Can I
yes.
just ask about Route 6? Do you know the details of the... Because Route 6 is just that little bit there, right? So does it mean Route 1?
Yes, yes. If you see recommendations, and where are we? Yeah, safest option is Potton Road, so 1B, 1C, 1D, 1E. Okay, so you're coming on the Potton Road, but then you go lower path.
So you don't cross, you just go down that, like that bank they were talking
Yeah,
about in the report, yeah.
And that's right. Across to the Finstanton Road and then Cow. So
So this is
it's
crossing.
very similar to Route 5.
This is crossing the 1040.
No.
Oh,
It's not.
They were
sorry.
proposing there was a bank down, weren't they?
okay, yes. Again, going out
Right.
on the 1040.
You'd have to cross the 1040 though, because the NMU's on the north side of the road.
Well, that's one of the things they say, isn't it? That
That's what I wasn't sure how far down.
Oh, actually, no, I
that
suppose you could nip down
No,
this side of the bridge,
you're
couldn't
right.
you?
Where's the name?
That's
Well,
High Batch Bridge, so it was crossing there and crossing back again.
this is why we need people to comment.
Yeah, this is what I couldn't work out, you see, because they said it was the safest, but I was confused by that because there were 2 crossings of the 1040, which, that's why I thought maybe I've got it wrong, but
It's the where they're crossing. It's where they're crossing that's the main issue. Yes, I thought it wasn't. I mean, we could dig into it right now, but we were all able to read it and go through it 6 times. What we really, really want to do this evening is make sure that parishioners more widely get the chance to read it, ask their questions, so that when we have the public meeting, transport initiatives might have some prior knowledge of the issues that people might have with what's being suggested, so that the meeting is meaty. And then what transport initiatives will do is create a final report based on everything they've done plus the public response.
So
That's the idea.
should parishioners be encouraged to comment
yeah.
Yes,
strongly
please.
that they would?
Yeah.
So even if they just said, I like your report, that's good. So that should
Yeah,
show there's
yeah.
interest.
I thought the report was really good, and it showed me loads I didn't know about routes that kind of exist to some extent already, and what the options were. So that's good. I put really interesting.
But, yeah, I mean, they are very strong on safety, so I will look again at Route 6. But they've also made the comment that these things have been put on the wrong side of the
Yeah, I
road.
saw that.
Oh, good. Excellent.
Despite our efforts.
Excellent. Okay.
So my second item here is, please can we get the report on the website with an invitation for parishioners to comment and an invitation for them to come to the public meeting, but we haven't agreed that yet.
So shall I second that?
Okay.
All in favour, yeah.
Okay. All those in favour of 5.12 to approve the report? Say aye. Yeah. Thank you.
And the next one is to put the information on Facebook regarding the options.
Presumably the Facebook would say, go to the website. That's probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
just say,
A map, didn't with the options, just as a visual.
That'd be good, actually.
Good idea.
and again, stress the comments,
Yes.
But comments
yes.
would have to go via
the
the
website.
website or email.
The map, does the map need it? I was just looking at the leaflets as well. We've got the map, could we have a little bit of text that makes a little bit of sense of the map in the leaflet, and therefore whatever that is,
It's
will
all
go
wrong.
on
We
Facebook.
haven't done leaflets.
We've got any, you've got a leaflet.
Well, I'm just saying that the example of the leaflet we've got here, the map is, I think, for people just glancing at this, and a lot of people, whether it's a leaflet drop, might want just a little bit of explanation
I see what
as to
the
what these routes are. Whether you could perhaps précis the conclusion of the report, or just a few lines, just to make it more accessible at a glance.
But that could be the leaflet, that's, are you talking about that going on Facebook or just
Well,
the
I'm
leaflet?
just, well, both. I'm saying once you've done that job for the leaflet,
Okay.
it would be useful to put it on Facebook as well.
Okay.
Okay.
That'll force me to reread the bit about
So I mean, presumably we don't, sorry, do we have are we happy to put the information on Facebook, subject to us happy about what's on Facebook, but the fact it goes on Facebook?
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's great.
Yeah, I'm obviously, I suppose, but I'm very conscious of the time frames that we're under for the funding.
Yes.
So we can't leave it till September to get the information out.
No. It's
Such.
much faster.
So I need agreement in principle that I will do the right thing.
Oh, yes.
It's a bit helpful.
So 51.3 is to approve the information on Facebook. Can I have a proposal for that? Do you want to do that, Andy? As an NAU? Okay. I'll second that. All in favour? Great, thank you. Now, 5.14 is to approve the leaflet drop, including a survey regarding the NAU options and informing parishioners. This is, presumably, we just need to approve the leaflet drop.
And I've done a survey draft.
Which our clerk will need to do, because you actually need to format it, don't you? Would you format it for what you've been given?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Nicola will formulate it, and then she can print them all off. We'll go through the same procedure about areas 1, 2, 3 to 6, and they can be outlined.
Yeah, I
Soon.
can. By the weekend, I need them done by the weekend.
Yeah, that's
So
fine.
you need to get updated text from them.
Yes, yes.
Perhaps we could sit down together and work it out.
I can have a look at them tomorrow.
Okay. Possibly, and then we'll-
Night.
and then so wait for the phone call to addition out. Yes, great, thank you.
So this is,
Because by then, of course, we can't go too fast, because we need to make sure we got on that leaflet, will need to be the agenda, the venue and stuff like that, so there will be a bit of stuff that needs to be sorted.
That's right. That's right.
just a question about the leaflet, well not the leaflet, but the survey.
Yes.
So the survey, we're asking people to complete it and return it to their nearest council or the shop.
Yeah, that was just struck my head.
We talked briefly, I think at the last meeting, about someone that had the option to put one of those scanning codes on, so people could do the survey online. Can we add that option at all? Because that would make it much easier for people to scan it on their phone and do the survey rather than do it in a paper copy potentially.
I like the
Survey
idea.
monkey with a link. I don't have a QR code.
Someone said that we could do
Somebody
Oh, I can generate a QR code.
Yes, I can.
Post on the Survey Monkey link or...
Translation.
That's what Hilton Parish Council do. They have a QR code and
I just feel like a paper thing, people quite like to
Yeah, exactly.
fill it in but forget to and take it somewhere and drop it off because people are just lazy in this digital society and they just want to sit there on their phones, but like, just thought it's an option. Modernise things.
I like
So you could do to assist, or is it not?
Yeah, so you need to give me the link or whatever it is you want the QR code you could say.
Where would we put could we put a survey monkey,
Survey Monkey.
who did accounts that one?
Presumably all
To do it via the website, couldn't we?
Can we put a survey on the website directly to actually respond to them?
You have to download another.
Okay, or you could just do a Survey Monkey and link to it. Might be easy.
It doesn't want to fall
Someone's
out.
out there to do it,
It doesn't want to fall out.
and then you can just link it into the website.
Okay,
That would be easy.
right. So if you call,
With some
sort it out.
look out later.
Okay. And we're using, well, we can talk about survey monkey.
Okay, that's great. Okay, so we've presumably 51.4 will approve the leaflet drop.
Yes,
Well,
please.
verbally. Anne is proposing it. Seconder? Sharon seconding it. All in favour of the leaflet drop? And thank you.
And the
All in
survey
favour?
isn't the same thing, so. Okay.
Okay,
Um,
right, now.
The next point is slightly misleading perhaps, but one of the requests from the funding people is that they obviously like the advertising. So they've asked that if we have a public meeting, could we take some photographs of the meeting in progress, but to make sure we take behind people so we're not showing faces, which is very thoughtful of them. And secondly, that they'd like to be able to publish any particular anecdotes or personal stories that people might have about the impact of a non-motorised use of park for them. So we need to make people aware, that's why I mentioned it on the leaflet and a survey, so that if people are willing, we would like to be able to share those. So are we okay with doing that?
Yeah, because presumably it's down to it's individuals. You know,
Yeah.
we're not making people as it
No,
gives a
no,
story.
we're not telling
It's
their
only
stories,
voluntary,
they're
isn't it?
telling
Yeah.
stories.
Yes.
What sort of scope have you got for the stories? I mean, how are you going to make sure it's relevant?
Well, as far as I'm concerned, if it's something people are, an individual is willing to share, it's up to the funding to decide whether
Yes.
it's useful or not. They talk about 1 page max, so it's 2-3 paragraphs. That's all they want.
But that will be at the meeting, so we come along with that.
Either at the meeting or they could send things subsequent to the
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, fine. Yes.
The funding guy can't be at the meeting, which is a bit frustrating. There we are.
Okay.
And the last point
So
here.
hang on, just so again, we need to presumably approve that 51.5 is to the anecdotes and review
Yeah.
heads and things and whatever. No faces. Right, meeting. I'm going to propose that one. Can I have a seconder?
Yeah,
Anne seconding it. Oh, sorry.
Nothing.
All in favour? Great, thank you. Sorry, fine.
the last point is there's a mistake on there. It's not the 31st of July, it's the 30th of September.
Yes.
So we'll get the form by the end of July, and they give us a month to complete it. And that's the form for the funding people, the CCF. So we have to fill in lots of boxes
But
to say that we did everything.
So 30th of September.
end of September.
Yes.
3-0.
Okay. But there's no money, so funding report. Someone will give us a cost of that, total cost, and we have to help.
Well, remember the transport initiatives are employed by the county council. The county council will pay transport initiatives, and then when the funding people are happy, then they will
right.
things.
This is just the feasibility.
Yeah.
They want our £500 worth of it.
Yes.
Right, sorry. Yes,
The
I
one
was
of £500 up
I was
to
thinking
the
the same thing, a bit bigger than that. Right, okay. Fair enough. Okay, so that's that. So,
So that's just information, really.
yes, because presumably we can approve that at the September meeting.
Yeah.
So, yes, okay. Great, thank you. Right,
Sleep now.
item 2052 is to receive correspondence from First Hilton Brownies and decide on the council's response. Appendix 7.
So proud of themselves.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So
Love the brownies.
there's quite a few things there that the Browns would like to make the town better.
I loved it.
I thought it was great.
I'm with the brownies.
Perhaps we should read it out.
All of them.
A good idea.
I'll read out the summary because there must be.
Well, basically, the
50.
brownies sent about each brownie sent a handful of letters to the parish council. There was probably 20 odd separate letters going.
We should put them on the website with their permission.
Well, yeah, because their names are on there as well.
But you can take them off, take off the names, you know. Anyway, they're lovely. The car park
Should we
is
summarise what they
insane.
said?
Right?
Yeah, I
It
think
was summarised.
I can read it, yeah. Appendix 7, okay.
Lots
In
of-
summary, the Brownies would like the council to look at the following improvements. The car park, the zebra crossing, street lights, bridge over the ford, benches and picnic benches, the playground, fencing the ditches, relocating the bin nearer the maze, potholes, trees and undergrowth including steam nettles,
It's good fun.
litter, bike paths, toilets, more bins including dog poo bins, safety signs, flowers, a swimming pool, and the suggestion is that, well, I've got two suggestions. One is that we, someone go and visit the Brownies on next Wednesday, which is soon. Or my preferred option would be to write a letter, a nice friendly letter explaining how the Parish Council works and thanking them for their bits and pieces and pointing out, not pointing out, that's rude, and agreeing that some of the things they're doing and that some of the things are actually already in hand, like the playground.
So there's quite a lot of things that are in hand.
Picnic
They're
benches,
quite nice.
yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
So I think we can address that in a nice manner.
Do we know what time on the 3rd of July?
Brownies meet between 5:45 and 7:50.
Times.
I would do it, but I can't do it. I want to do it. That's fine.
Proposing a letter.
I'm proposing a letter, yes.
Now, they have said that September would be fine as a response. We can't, because next week is their last meeting of the term. But we can
Why
go
don't we
into
do
September.
both? Why don't we do a letter for the next, for Wednesday?
I'm I'm not sure we'll get it for Wednesday because it's going to take. This is going to take some time to,
Okay.
you know,
Like it's for
to give it
September.
the time it needs.
I have to say, it made me think though that it would be nice for someone to go to Brownies, because I think it would be good to get the Brownies to write letters to the haulage companies, for example, and tell them what they think the lorries come through their village,
Good
and things
idea.
like that. Because it does have an impact with what they think and what they feel. Like you get kids from schools out there with all their high-vis jackets holding up signs and placards and stuff, and people slow down and stop and do things. So I think it would be nice. Maybe someone can go and discuss it with them in September.
That's a good idea. I think somebody should go.
September. It's mid-September because we meet on the 1st of September, don't we? So we'll have a planned response. The proposal, in our supporting documents for the whatever September, there will be a proposal about all the things that we need to say, and then we'll have a volunteer or two to go.
So I don't mind volunteering, it'll all just depend on dates.
Right. Okay, great, good, thank you.
Well done, Brownies.
Right.
Well done to the
Okay. Right, now item 20.53 is to receive correspondence from Cambridgeshire County regarding the cycle forward sign and decide upon the council's response to the Appendix rates. Now, this did come as quite a surprise because I hadn't appreciated it was quite such a problem. We haven't had any responses from, that's what I would, from the cycle groups, but the letter that you've seen has been sent to the cycle groups, and there's already, I think, a slippery sign that's there, but I don't think it necessarily is directed at cyclists.
It's very small though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's just slippery and presumably it hasn't been cleaned with. This one is more specific. It's actually got, but it's actually a sign saying go this way to avoid the ford.
I think it's a great idea.
Before we jump into this, can I just throw another idea? I don't remember if this being a problem in previous years. And I'm just wondering, because I had quite a long conversation with somebody who lives nearby, and maybe Jeff could perhaps support this, is that we've had a lot of leaks in water down that road, down water. I'm wondering if we're getting water going into the ditch, which is keeping it wetter through the early summer months, which is making the algae not die because it's not drying out. And it's something which the person I was speaking to said, he's noticed it's been a lot wetter, a lot longer, and it very rarely dries now, whereas it used to dry for like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, that's right.
Now, we've had a very dry spring.
Yeah.
I know it caught up recently, but we actually have a very dry spring. You would have expected it to have dried out and the algae be killed off. I think. So, all of this is
Can I
good.
ask Jeff that? Jeff, would you say that it's got worse in the last 3 or 4 years? In terms of collisions, I mean, obviously you can't.
Is it wetter for longer in the spring than it used to be?
Yeah, it seems to be. What the problem first started, it was very potholey there,
Yeah,
and the county council concreted it,
that's right.
and it's been a problem since then. And there seems to continue flow of water. I mean, you're right, it doesn't dry out very much at all, and I don't think there's anything you can do to stop that.
Well, I just wondered if it's worth speaking to the water board.
It's not water leaks.
Not from
It's just rainwater, ditch water coming through.
It seems a lot though, doesn't it? Because I remember the Ford used to dry, because I lived just up the road, and it used to always be dry by about Fee Sweet really, because we used to take the floats through there,
Yes,
so that
that's
was,
true. Yes.
and it was always dry. But the last couple of years it hasn't been, it's been wet, and you're right, the algae is built up now. And my water bill's really high, so maybe I've got a leak.
Well, in the past, when the water used to come up through the road, we used to ring Angry Water. They used to come to the team down and repair it. So I wondered if it's worth us contacting them and say we suspect there might be a leak, and see if they'll come in.
There is a leak, further up Church End, but also actually on the road there's been several leaks, and outside Mr and Mrs Sarkis there's been an ongoing leak for some time, which I think they've repaired, but...
I mean, the specific question is about the sign. I mean, they're actually requesting that they put a post on the green,
Yes, that's it.
which is a bit sort of, that's the controversial bit.
I wonder if
I
they
think
put
you
it
should
on.
just do it. People's lives are.
Yeah.
I do.
They are, but whether they actually see it, I mean, do we see signs?
Yeah, I think they do, especially if you've got a
Cyclists
picture of
do.
a bike and then the cyclist would see it and think, oh my God, yeah. Because we've seen some really nasty accidents while we're dog walking as well, and, you know,
So this sign that's potentially controversial, which is right on the green,
Yes.
that could quite legitimately go on a current post, whether
Yeah.
it's 40 mile an hour sign is.
Yeah, it's wrong side of the road, but I mean,
If it's facing the right way.
yeah,
It should go.
or whether they send them down the grove. At the moment, they're suggesting,
Why don't they just use the foot?
yeah.
well, it depends whether they can cycle through the gravel.
Yeah, you'll be able to cycle all over the road bike.
No.
Yeah, the grove might be good.
So
Well,
it's
it's up to them
whether
as where they put it.
you can put the sign further up and direct them round the grave. But then if they're going
The
towards
problem is, by the
Hatworth,
time they're speeding along that road, they're not going to see the sign and do a 90-degree right-hand turn. They're going to do it before they've just noticed. You know, the sign's not till right
But
here.
the grove would be better then, because they'll be slowing up anyway.
Because the bend there,
Then
yeah.
sort of thing, then. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would personally say that we wouldn't have a problem if they could put it on one of the existing posts.
I can't say I know enough about where the posts are to comment on
But
that.
there are no posts on the left-hand side of the
No.
road coming this way, are there?
There's no post on this side.
It's got to be on the right side, surely, for highways. It's got to follow the highway code, surely, to put the sign up. You can't just put a sign in any old place, otherwise. Sure, I don't know, but surely isn't there
Especially
some
cyclists,
legal
they're not-
requirements for
yeah,
the signs what to do?
they're not going to see a post on the opposite side, are they? I don't know.
Can't see
Yeah.
them.
I couldn't actually work out where they were proposing.
Yes,
to put it.
exactly.
They want to stick it on the green, probably by the 40-mile-per-hour sign, but on the other side.
So
The
just
idea is
on
that
this
they would
corner?
take it down the high street.
Oh, right,
They would,
okay.
so
Oh,
by
so
the
further
pavilion.
up
I
that
think
way?
that's
the pavilion, yeah.
the high street turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
So just like that.
I think the grove would be a better route.
But you're still going to put a green.
Put a sign, but yeah, it'll be slowing up anyway, they'll probably see it.
If you then put a sign forward ahead, then this is the road. Especially thinking about it, there must be a sign saying forward. So why
It's
isn't
just got to
the...
go on the same sign as the forward sign, shouldn't
Yes,
it?
it should be below it, shouldn't it?
Or is it too close?
Well,
Too
it's,
close to the
but
forward
you're still
sign,
slowing
so I
down,
don't know where
aren't
it
you? I mean,
is.
I don't think there is a forward sign.
There's
Must
one
be.
point one way, definitely. I don't
Should
know how
be
coming
one.
up with.
I don't think
Well, there should be
I've
one.
noticed one.
But maybe that's the problem.
Because we were going to write a
Playground signs.
ducks crossing sign, but there's nothing to put it on.
Yeah.
We'll need a post anyway.
Well, let's just suggest that they put a forward sign up and put the cycling, because the two things are then related, aren't they?
Yeah, as long as the
needs to
forward
be-
sign is far enough back that
Yes,
before we, you know, for
Yes.
cars it can be as close as just.
yes.
Well, I suppose it's got to be before the turn in case a car doesn't want to go through it, hasn't it? So it's the same
Yes.
for cyclists. It needs to be.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't need to be before the turn, as long as you can see it.
Well, it does because if well, I suppose you could reverse up the road, but you
Well,
want to
you-
know it's before in case
yeah.
you didn't want to drive through it because it could be flooded. But
Yeah. But I think that would be...
Rather than complicate it with a forward sign, because
Mhm.
that's an official
Mhm.
sort of warning sign, is there whether don't know whether this covers
Well,
a
sort of
different
thing,
class
yeah.
of sign. If we would say yes, but can they put it just out here rather than to go down the road, rather than
Or just say on any existing post. And we put it on any existing
any
post.
existing post would be fine.
But there isn't one on the left-hand
No,
side of the
no,
road
no.
coming this way.
so you're saying it needs to be between the high street and the grove with the arrow pointing, take the next turn
To the
basically,
grove,
so
yeah.
turn down the grove.
Yeah.
If there's a sign between there, then I think that sounds
That
sensible.
would be awkward, wouldn't it? Because that would be in the middle of the playing area. That would be in short grass, wouldn't it?
Oh, where they've got hit this here is
It's much further up, isn't it?
Mm.
Rather than-
it's a long way away from the falls.
Yeah, but the idea is that they would take it down High Street. It just says arrow to avoid forward. It doesn't say warning forward, it says to avoid forward.
So
I think personally it's too far away
I do too.
because you're not thinking about the forward. I think you should be near the forward sign personally. But maybe we could just say that we have no problem in principle, but we need to, no new posts, we have to discuss.
Well, both of them are new posts, so
The first one's on High Ridge Landing, so it's not an issue.
so we don't have to agree to
No,
it.
it's just that they want to put on the green.
Well,
Would cause,
I can't imagine the common wants it group.
we'll be happy.
No, I would struggle to think of the basis for any objection if it's to do with road health and safety.
Well, I would declare an interest here just in case someone.
Well, we're going to declare an interest too,
Yes. Yes.
but I think it's a good idea.
I certainly think we do need something because, you know, as Jeff was saying, there are accidents all the time, and even villagers. There was a dog walker injured. Well, Craig's wife was hospitalised for 2 days after slipping in the ford. So, you know,
Walking through it.
yeah.
Oh, well, maybe it's more fundamental, isn't it?
So, you know, she was in hospital for 2 days.
Yes.
Maybe there should be a height down it.
Well, that's, I think, putting up signs is not going to solve this problem.
No, even if people are walking, slipping by walking through it.
It's like an ice rink.
We've
You
got to do
can-
something more substantial.
Yeah.
Either find the leak if it is a leak. If it's not a leak, then change the road surface, as Jeff's saying.
Yeah,
For
that's...
instance, with the new surface going on, that's
Yeah, okay, fine. Then that's the issue that people
But
are
at least in the
slipping.
meantime, the signs would be helpful, but I agree.
I really question whether the signs would do any good. If I'm a cyclist going down there forward, oh, great, it won't be that deep, I can cool myself down going through a ford. That's my reaction as a cyclist.
Yeah.
Basically, when that was put in, it was put in incorrectly. If you look at the profile of the concrete, it dips in the middle. It shouldn't have been done like that. So they got it wrong.
It should be flat.
It should be flat.
Yeah.
Or, well, it should be sloped with the slope of the water. So it takes the water down the slope. It will run off a lot better.
Oh, well, either
And I
side.
do, no,
Just
Just
to
to
one
one
it's
side.
one way,
To one
to take the water down the way it
Yeah.
flows. I really do think that the best thing
Mm.
with what we've got at the moment, the cheapest way, would be to take an angle grinder
Oh, no.
and cut a score, do a matrix across it.
Mm.
And I think that would do a lot of good.
Is there any way we can clean the algae?
Well, it's a temporary measure.
Yeah, that's right.
It will be the
Yeah.
same in 3 weeks'
Yeah,
time.
okay.
I really do think so.
How many angle gardeners have we got in the village?
Well,
We've got one.
yeah, I mean, the thing is,
Because you have
That's
to.
another thing to do well.
we could do it.
It's not a
There's
problem. We might be in trouble.
There's interested parishioners, but it comes back to, would we be liable? And we've got to try and persuade county council that that's the best way to do it, to make that service more, you know,
Why don't we discuss it
More
with the
friction.
councillor, because
Okay.
they were involved in this
Let's
letter.
just, okay, so moving forward, let's just say that we don't think the signs are adequate or would solve the problem.
Yeah.
We believe the forward needs to be redesigned or
So we
reconstructed.
agree there is a
And we
problem.
agree with the problem, even our parishioners are slipping on it.
yeah,
Our foot parishioners are slipping on it.
yeah.
There is a problem. The
Cambridge
cause
Council might just think, oh, we're giving them some signs, the problem's gone away.
is- yes.
Yes.
I
Absolutely.
agree with the signs, but if from a cycling perspective, if you cycle, I agree, but also people aren't going to necessarily think it's a forward, I'm not going to go through it. I mean, forward signs are sometimes there to tell cars not to go through, and cars drive through however deep it is, so it doesn't
Absolutely.
stop people just because they think it's a forward. Maybe it needs to be something different than cycle route avoiding forward, maybe danger, something else.
I think it's a relatively inexpensive option, isn't it? The sign, I think that's
Yeah,
the
it is.
Maybe it
third
reduces liability then, because then they say if someone hurts themselves then it's not our fault, because we've
And
told
that's
them
probably
not
better
to.
than saying slippery, isn't it? If you say slippery, you admit there's a problem.
Yeah.
Or if you just say go this way to avoid it.
Oh, I can't.
Okay, so I'm going to propose that we respond to Cambridgeshire Council by saying that we don't think the sign is going to be the whole solution, and that we'd like to meet them with a view to redesigning or reconstructing, resurfacing forward. Can I have a second for that? All those in favour?
Sorry, can I just clarify? You said you'd address the county council.
Yes. So they're the ones who have sent the email through.
Well, I don't know, the letter said I recently met with county councillor.
It's
County
not.
Council,
Highway officer.
I'm pretty sure.
It's got
Isn't
Cambridge
the letter-
Council on drawings.
There's a letter from the
He's-
parishioner.
I thought the letter
No.
was from Parish.
Letters
No,
from the
it
Parish.
No, no.
No.
No, it's been, obviously the names are taken off, but I think what you've got is you've got a county councillor and then you've got paid staff.
Yeah, I can clarify. The County Council Highways met with Ian Bates.
Yes.
And that's where it's all come from.
Yes, so it's a
Thank
council
you.
order, but it's either paid county
I
employee.
stand corrected, thank you.
Okay. So we'll send it back to your Cecilia
Yeah.
and ask his meetings because we want to
His
be,
job title is Team Leader Cycling Projects, Major Infrastructure Delivery.
we need to bring it. Yeah. Okay.
Okay,
So,
Are we all in?
sorry.
yes.
Sounds
Hang on.
Propose that we respond to CCC and state that the signs are not the whole solution. Would like to meet to discuss.
Reconstruction
Addressing the survey.
of the Ford, and then we could mention because even parishioners on foot are slipping have been hospitalised.
Yes.
Is that right? Hospitalised?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Craig's
Yeah.
wife was in hospital 2 days.
Yes.
So it's not just a
Appeared.
cycling issue.
Yeah. I mean, 2 days is
Absolutely black and
hospitalised,
blue,
but
they
you know,
thought she'd broken her hip.
that's right.
We have
Could
had
be a
signs
sore
saying
thumb.
slippery surface, and those are obviously not made any difference.
Who seconded?
Oh, Sharon's
you
still-
in favour?
Sorry. All I was going to say is, can we just look at whether there is signs saying Ford and whether we need signs from highways to say Ford? Because I don't think there is. I don't ever remember saying,
Yeah. But, okay, we can check that as well.
especially in the winter when it is flooded and it's too deep, apart from me putting a flood sign, nobody actually knows that in the dark that there is water ahead.
Are we all in favour of wanting to have a chat with CCCCC? Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, right, training, Appendix 9. Now, various trainings being offered
Yeah. That's weird.
at various prices for various people. It's just-
Yeah, that was what we had here. We had the sessions on,
I think it was principles, wasn't it? Or,
it was budgets, precepts,
can't remember
statutory
what we-
powers and standing orders.
I can't remember what the wording was. But anyway,
I've got them in touch.
there are training courses available. The much cheaper option is to nip over to Burwell or to Sutton, which I believe are both some way away.
Maybe somewhere that they'll come here.
They will come here. I say the cheaper option. If you go on those courses, they're £75 a person. Alternatively, they will come here for £1,000. Or,
700.
if you do it one day.
Saturday.
Yes.
Which is not cheaper, because if there's 9 of us, then per person, it's cheaper. Isn't that right? You said £700, well,
I did.
£75 per person.
Yeah. That's true. But we had to pay for the village hall and on top of that, which is much fine if we go there.
They're not provided.
They don't provide lunch if you go there, but they'd like you to provide lunch if they come here.
Interesting. Well, that'd be a sandwich then. from the shop.
If they come here. General thoughts? I mean, I don't know what our budget.
They did say that if you can open it up to local councils to join and you can have as many as you can fit in the hall.
Yeah, so that obviously we might even make if you want, but we'd have to have a large lunch then, wouldn't we? So I say the thought is when we do it, we can do 3 sessions of an evening, or we do 1 day of a Saturday.
I'm unable to do any Saturdays, so I couldn't do a Saturday training course.
I must admit, the thought of spending a whole Saturday here discussing parish council stuff would be very exciting. I could probably manage evenings. And it might be good actually if we did open at other councils. It would be quite nice to see what I think. Is there a general sort of
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
finances wise? Can we afford it
With the 600, or just under £600 left in the training budget for the year.
for the year? Excellent. So if we opened up to other people, then we could.
You think of doing 3 evenings here?
Yeah, I think. Well, personally,
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't
think
want
that's
to spend a
a
whole
good idea.
Saturday. Would you? Would you?
No, well, it gets all over with and we'll go.
Yeah, but the sun will be out, and we'll just be sitting there going.
It's very difficult for
So,
people
yes.
to commit for a whole day.
They did it in the autumn time, when it's not so good. Yes. So can I have a general sort of good idea? If we think about that.
I could organise that for children, but I have
Right.
gone to some already.
I'm going to propose that we try and organise some 3 evening course trainings here in the autumn, TBA, blah, blah, blah.
That we invite other local parish councils to in advance,
Yes.
because then we know how much
Well, yes,
we
yes,
we
yes,
spend.
yes. Up to a certain number, I wouldn't want the whole.
But it'd be
Maybe
good
30.
to invite
Oh.
maybe Hemmingford and
Yeah,
Hemmingford
well,
and Stanton.
Yeah, yeah.
I know it's aimed at parish councillors and
Mm.
so on. Is there any merit in keeping 1 or 2 places for people who are not councillors yet, but might be interested in becoming?
Might try and, don't know, you ask.
There are no vacancies currently on the council.
I think Anne's talking about, say, 3 years' time, or this Anne's got some.
You just never know.
I mean, I wouldn't have thought so, but we can ask. We can ask. Yes. Maybe one of the
Well,
courses,
I'm
one of the
just
sessions may be more
What,
applicable.
what's prompted is people who've come on a particular issue and saying, I don't know anything about how this works. And thinking, well, there's a chance to find out.
Well, we can ask. But, okay, so if we start the ball rolling. Yeah, yeah. I say one of the sessions may be more appropriate than all
Yeah.
3 of them,
Yeah.
perhaps. Okay. Can I have a second of that, then, please? And secondly, all in favour? You not sure? You are sure? You are sure? Yes, you are sure. We're all in favour. Great, thank you. That's that one. And then secondly, the chairman's training course.
Yeah.
Yes. Please go on that, they said. That's £35, and that's only in Somerset, so
I think
I'd love to go on that, please.
I think you should. I think that's a good idea.
And you didn't need to say it quite so.
Well, I think why not? Give it a treat.
Have an evening out.
I can have some refreshments at the
Exactly.
for sport really.
No, it'll be
Right,
interesting.
so-
I'd like to know what up-to-date stuff.
Okay. Well, that's £35, so if you're happy for £35,
Yeah, I'll
is it?
second that.
Okay. All in favour?
Yeah.
Thank you much. Great. Thank you. So that's the training done, yeah? Right, item number 55 is discuss and decide upon giving permission for the mobile vehicle activated speed whatever sign to be mounted on council-owned lampposts. Now, the Appendix 10 gives the lampposts that have been suggested, and we have since checked which lampposts they are. One's outside Westbrook, which has lost its numbers. That's the first job of the handyman. It's to paint some numbers on that one. Okay. Oh, right. Sorry. Yes. PC 14 and 23. One's on Potton Road, and one's on High Street.
Is that a map for this?
What was it you had? What is-
No, I've just got a minute.
Alright.
But these are mobile, so presumably they wouldn't be up for long. I don't think we'd ever. Sorry, we're not. Discuss.
Just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And if we get adverse comments from the people who are next to it, for any reason, we can.
I mean, I think so far there have been lots of people saying, please can we have one near so-and-so,
Yeah.
because they want people to slow down near where they live. So.
Yeah. Well, in particular, the request is that we give permission for our roads lampposts to be used. So,
The note goes on to say that they're going to be moved around the village to various locations.
Mm.
Do we know where those other locations
Andy, do you know where they're going to be?
Yeah, well, I did a morning's walk with the Skanska Highways contractor to look at suitable sites for health and safety, best location, appropriateness, and all those. He was going back to check with his group exactly where they were. I can provide you with a map of what we suggested, but I wasn't going to do that until I come back. So some are Balfour BT lighting columns, so I'll ask permission from them. Some are Parish Council ones, where they happen to be, and there are a couple of locations where we may need to put posts up where there is no suitable lamppost that we could use. It's something like, off the top of my head, there are probably 8 locations around the village, and as you said, they really came from where the suggestions that the villagers told me when I put the consultation around, and where the highway engineer suggested would be best place to have most effect. And yeah, as they're on all the four corners, Church End, the Green, High Street, Gravely Way, and mainly Potton Road is obviously the worst one.
So yeah, so we'll write back to Andy officially and say, use these posts.
Thank you.
Oh, right. The proposal is that we give permission for those 3 lampposts to house the mobile sensor. I'll propose that. I'll second that. Dora's second, yeah. All in favour? Okay. Thank you very much. That's good. Item 56 is to receive the financial report, Appendix 11. Appendix 11 is all the invoices that make up page 3 of the last sheet.
No, this,
Oh, sorry.
It's 11.
Sorry, it's I'm jumping over. It's the budget, isn't it?
Yeah, so the management accounts and the budget
Yeah,
accounts.
yeah. That's what from memory rather than going to the appendix. No. Thanks, George. Okay. So this is the financial report, management accounts for up to the end of May. Rather than trawling through, is there anything in here that we need to be aware of? Is everything okay? Because we're not used to getting into analysis every month. So everything's on trackish.
Yeah, there's nothing in there that's particularly information relevant.
So it's just there for information. Just
so the first column is just what we spent to date on leases.
That's up to the 31st of May, so I don't have the current bank statement. Obviously the June one will be another fortnight yet. So yeah, it's basically what's gone in and out of your bank account up until the 31st of May, grouped by budget category.
So utilities is already higher than the whole of the previous year, is that right?
Yeah, the biggest bill on utilities is the County Council's library bill.
So it all comes out in one go.
Yeah, and then the other utilities you've got £8 or £5 this month for electricity and £14 a quarter on water. So really, really negligible.
Okay.
okay. Well, it's great. That's good. Hmm?
It's falling silence, that's good.
Yeah, that's right. You didn't know what question to ask, did you? Oh, fine. Right. Well, thank you for that. So we need to receive. So I'm going to propose that we receive this. Have a seconder that we've received it. Kira's receiving it as well. Second it. All in favour? Are we happy with it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. Okay. That's the final report. Right. Now we're going to get to 12. This is the accounts to be authorised, approved. Appendix 12. Quite a lot this month. So they're on the agenda. So the information's out there.
Extra one I have had.
Which one?
It's the Hilton PCC. So it's not on the agenda because I only received the invoice yesterday.
Oh, I see. What was that for? PCC?
PCC for the long-term of the church.
Oh, we made that. Yes, we did. Okay. Right. And what? We'll go on that. We'll do that extra at the end of it. Okay. So we've got the standard ones of John Carter, and we've got the electrical supply. We've got the clerk. We're still talking about her salary. The local council book we discussed before. The valuation office, again, we'll be talking about that in closed session, the 960. The conference that Nicola went on. Garden furniture we need to approve so that we can get the benches on order. CLS landscaping and fencing is 4,217 for the paths. Back to greens, is that what we expected? Is that? That's what we expected. Thank you very much.
Is that with the spec of gravel that he used? So the cost didn't change?
No, the cost didn't change to the quote, I think. try and find that.
Oh no, don't worry, it was just a question, because I thought he had put less gravel on.
So I haven't really unchecked it against the original quote, but just give me a second.
Okay, well, let's go on for that. Able accounts was the internal audit at 200. JSC services, these are the bills that John sends in because he now cuts the outfield £45 ago. So there's 2 of those. Post office for postage, Microsoft Office, and then pen and water. Oh yeah, and then the PCC is £30, which is a contribution. I don't know, that's what I say, you see, this is the business I'm talking about. So the PCC's added, and that's to do with the contribution to the churchyard lighting, which we pay. So those are all the invoices that have been presented this month, which is probably quite a record, I would suggest. Anything there that we're...
Just going back to Sharon's question, yeah, that's exactly what I quoted.
Oh, right.
And he's done all sort of thing.
Yes.
Why is it 900? This price, so we can go down for the wine park.
Good, okay, so I propose we pay those. Second, please. Any in favour? Aye. Good, thank you very much.
Just, can I just ask, you know, obviously last month we agreed to buy the benches, but then we, as Nicola advised, we had to have it put on here. So
Yes.
in future, if we're agreeing something, like to spend money on something, do we have to propose that money is? I suppose what I'm trying to say is the order has been delayed by a month because we've had to...
This one's different because they actually wanted the cheque up front. What we had to do, we had to get the cheque. What we're doing here is we're not proposing to spend the benches, we're authorising the cheque. This company is different. Normally they send an invoice. If they sent an invoice, it wouldn't be the problem, would it?
What we could have done at quote, what we should have done at quote, we'll ask what their payment terms were. And at which point, if they'd have said payment on pro forma invoice, you could have asked for a pro forma invoice at that point to say, okay, well, in order to get it through, I need a pro forma invoice to be paid.
Yeah. It's a learning curve, isn't it?
You just payment because you've got that. It's almost a safeguarding that you've got that 2 layers of authorisation for a payment to go through.
Okay.
So that's that. Okay. Now, council items normally at the end, but there's going to be 2 items at the end, 59 and 60, which are closed session for the public, I'm afraid. So at the end here, we're going to have, well, the effective end for the open session is the councillor's items. Ian, anything to chuck in?
Yeah, just a quick
No
mention.
discussion?
Some of you may have seen the email I sent out about the unfortunate damage to the trees that we planted this spring. And I was just going to mention it in general session. So when the hay cut was made last week, something like about 4 oak trees that were planted out this spring were damaged, beyond repair.
What, by the machinery?
Yes, yeah. So, not entirely sure just what happened at the time. Well, I know they're damaged, but I don't know where the blame lies really. But just to let you know that that's what happened. I say I have sent you all an email, you may not have a chance to read it yet, but there we go. So I was just going to mention that. That's all.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Anne?
Yeah, this is just for information really. I'm going to put on our village notice boards information about the Cambridge Refugee Resettlement Campaign. But I did wonder if the Parish Council might put a copy of it on the website.
I don't think it would, because it's... Well, sorry, I better not get involved. Yes.
I will, for mine. Website.
More about Andy's website.
Okay.
So, well, so if you see them around, they came from me. If you want to know more questions, just ask them.
Okay, thank you very much.
The one thing on Speedwatch, just to let you know that the Speedwatch volunteers held a meeting at the end of June. There's now 6 volunteers and they can start roadside sessions. They would still like to know if any new people are interested, so thanks Nicola for putting up the adverts and signs. if we can get any more interested people, then it would be great. I mean, they've got 6, they can start sessions, but they would still like more people. And the other thing, I did want it on the agenda, but I think I was a little bit late. I just saw, I noticed on the Hunter Post there was an A48 consultation about the widening of the A48, and the deadline for comments is the end of July, so we haven't got another meeting. Looking at it, I think it has an impact on the village, because if the A48 is suddenly a dual carriageway down to the A1, surely it's going to entice people to come more through the village, because there's it's even quicker to get south. So I think the village should comment on it, and I don't know how we go about that now because we haven't got another meeting, but I don't know if individuals want to look at it and comment perhaps.
Would you send a link through so we can think whether we can what we can do with it?
Yeah, Nicola, I sent it to Nicola, so she can put it forward.
Okay, fine. Right, okay.
I just have to ask every individual to comment.
Sharon,
Yes, I last month discussed about having a weekend to do the bench repairs
yes.
for volunteers,
Yes.
and we've provisionally suggested a date of the 20th of July, so
Yes.
20th of July,
Yes.
9 till 1 o'clock. So
It's a long time. Yes, yeah, whatever. By the time, yes.
is so I was going to suggest we put it on the website and on Facebook for any volunteers to come along with their,
We're going to try and paint them.
what did
We're
you
gonna move them?
suggest? Some hot.
We can move them, couldn't we? We need to move them. One's going to get moved. So there's some
yeah, we've got
grass.
some moving to do.
There's two we have that need to put in. It's possible that those two could be here by now. The new ones could be here.
Could be.
But there was some stuff. Oh yeah, we can't discuss. But
Yes,
there's
we can't
some
discuss.
stuff
We can't discuss. No, you're right.
So anyway, some stuff to treat the benches, but also we need to buy the wood as
We
well.
won't be buying the wood because it's not been approved. It's not on the. That's not on the what's it.
I did ask for it.
That was approved at the last
Approved last week.
Have you had the various?
The quote, it was going to go through the Parish Council deadline.
Was it?
Because we need to move this on, otherwise it's going to drag on until September.
Do we have enough quotes for that?
I haven't had any quotes.
Yeah, so that's what it's surely got to have. Surely. Also, we're discussing it in the closed session, which is wrong. It's wrong. We'll have to discuss that later. Okay. Well, I'm sure that we were going to agree to do it. It's in there, but we were going to agree to do it. We're not.
Be passed.
Yeah.
That's the same.
But I'm saying there's plenty to do other than mend the benches, isn't there? We can do some bench work,
Absolutely.
but I don't think it will be.
So we need to put that on the September agenda.
Yeah, well, you can send it over to your man. Okie dokes, thank you very much. Right, I'm going to request a closed session now, please. Thank you very much.